Marquez that gets the whole shot. It is, as they swoop past, and Dovizioso's been sat up.
He's in second place. Quartararo got a little bit beaten up on that run to third corner. Vinales got away well. He's in
Morbidelli already. We're right now with Marc Marquez. Is he going to be challenged down the back straight and into turn 6? Morbidelli here will not lose sight of Marc Marquez. There is Maverick Vinales. That's the transformation for Sector 4.
So it wasn't the start that Dovizioso was looking for. He got picked up at that first corner. He's got on this first lap. He got on the inside of Petrucci at the Lorenzo corner. Can he hold firm against Petrucci in the first corner? He can.
So far, he is up a couple of places.
3 places for Rins, of course. I was terrible always at Matt. Down in 8th place. Hasn't been the start that he wanted from the back of that second row. It's still then Marquez. He was way wide the Pedrosa corner there. Jorge Lorenzo. He's had a poor start to this race, Lorenzo.
But in the crucial braking zones where overtaking moves can be made, Marc is going deep. He's
13, where he made contact with said Jorge Lorenzo. And Morales snaps the position straight back, so Dovizioso can't get higher than 5th.
Now we're on board with Dovi looking back at Rins. This is the battle for 5th place.
Great early rhythm this by Morbidelli.
3 is where Marc tends to prevail. There's Dovizioso, there is Alex Rins. Smooth, sleeky, stop, so stable.
Rins, I knew he was having a look up the inside of Andrea Dovizioso, couldn't find a way through. If there are two...
A 38.330 from the 20-year-old Frenchman as he starts to get warmed up now.
Showing Rins behind him. Vinales actually just fired in his fastest lap of the race, a 38.426, so that was on par. That's where the Yamaha makes its lap time. Fast corners. As he got decided, enough is enough. He's now going to rub these guys' noses in it a little bit.
Well, plan A worked out a treat.
Quartararo's got a mechanical. What has happened to Fabio Quartararo? What a nightmare for the Frenchman. Don't burst into tears, Randy.
Well, I'll tell you what it has done.
Is on the chin of Fabio Quartararo. That's really sickening.
A hard one to
history is that the Yamahas late on tend to run out of grip. Fabio Quartararo is he is going to be absolutely crestfallen. I won't be surprised if he's not in tears.
Can you believe it?
Gutty for the show because he kept Marc Marquez on this for a long time, and Marc Marquez, Lynn Jarvis will be just as frustrated as anybody. Of course, he's the Yamaha Motor Racing's manager. His priority.
When the mechanic lifted the gear lever up, it looked like it was touching the linkage, the bar that goes to the young fella. Guys, while I have you online, I have the Michelin guys with me here at Terra.
The temperature of the front tire is very stressful. Now the riders will still going down and down, so I think they will keep the pace until the end.
Eric Masso, while we've been speaking there, it's got worse for the Petronas SRT team.
Frank of them, that's for sure. Marquez then, at the moment, in cruise control, although seems to remember Lorenzo is 14th, and 14th only because Quartararo's gear shift way wide. Valentino Rossi must be sick to the back teeth of this view. He's had this view pretty much the charge for the top 6, because with Franco Morbidelli struggling a little bit, Crutchlow's eyes will light up.
He's left it too wide though, he's left the door open, through goes Miller once more. At the front, Marc Marquez was...
Vinales, when he's in this position, Steve, we know he can actually maintain a relatively fighting for 2 points against that package. Just unbelievable. Now, has Rossi finally this one coming at all?
Well, certainly not at the end on Friday either.
And he was talking big, wasn't he, all weekend? This was going to be the Grand Prix.
2 seconds over Maverick Vinales there in 3rd. And Maverick right now, the best he can hope for is sticking around here and trying to fall behind the boss as well. Valentino Rossi's about to come flying past like he stood still.
And he wastes absolutely no time whatsoever. So Rossi, in the last couple of laps, has
to find a way to get past, well...
He's behind Taka Nakagami as well. Nightmare for Jorge Lorenzo.
The more you look, can he get closer this time to Marc Marquez to make a move into turn 13? So
Juan Mir found a way to Nakagami, and Alex Rins, he's made that move his own corner, but the grunt and acceleration of the Ducati on Franco Morbidelli. Still nothing going for Jorge Lorenzo, who's still...
Got to believe he can, to Maverick Vinales up ahead of him in 4th.
Cal Crutchlow's got
Quartararo, Viñales in the hot conditions. The Yamaha standing strong at the moment. Of course, it's traditionally the end moment anyway on Valentino Rossi, who's in 10th place right now, and as Matt mentioned, cannot make any more progress.
Crash for Pecco, Van Hill right-handers caught Bagnaia out, so that's his race over. He was just outside the point.
Go here in Jerez. Alex Rins, the fastest man on circuit, a 38.1
race that went for the medium rear tyre. Now, is the medium not hard enough for Jorge Lorenzo in these hot conditions?
He had to take a bit of a wider line because of Marc Marquez, and then
podium battle early on. Crutchlow just can't find a way through to unlocking the door to force through on Daniel.
Conversely, Fabio Quartararo and Maverick Viñales were both quicker than Morbidelli on that last lap.
Just
Quartararo and Viñales are a lot closer now. There will be 6 from Marc Marquez, and that is probably enough to now break the gap. 8
out of Franco Morbidelli on this lap for the first time in this Spanish Grand Prix.
But that was a little bit deep into turn number 6, the Dani Pedrosa corner for him.
The Yamaha's already suffering in these hotter conditions because at the moment they can't live with. Marquez has just blitzed them on that last lap. That was the key lap of this race. A 38.
They've got a great chance now of finishing on the podium. Maverick Viñales hasn't been on the podium since, of course, he won back in Philippines.
But he is susceptible to mistakes. He got into this position a couple of weeks out. Here comes Alex Rins. That's ruthless, merciless up the inside of Maverick Viñales. Make no mistake. Let Marquez see his pit bull and the time coming down. See how he reacts.
Third, a lot quicker than him right now. Behind those guys, the 2 Ducatis of Dovizioso and Petrucci. Cal Crutchlow still coming.
And its engine, its acceleration, its traction control, keeping that rear tyre life makes it so hard to line up a pass because they get.
There's 10 points on offer for Valentino Rossi there.
In his career that Marc Marquez in Austin, which is not a bad stat really when you think a better showdown between Rins and Marquez had Rins not had to work so hard from
in the Premier class. Dovizioso looks primed for it.
Yeah, Dovizioso knows. Yeah, 4 laps to go. +0 Dovizioso and Petrucci.
Well, let me put it this way. A shame for Twan Mir.
I was just about to say he's had a really unlucky period. No doubt about it, he's got the speed, just not converting it right now into top-level results.
For Jorge Lorenzo. I was convinced after Friday that we'd see him inside the top 6.
Circuit, hard braking, lots of high-speed corners where you carry a lot of lean angle that stresses the edge of the tyre. I mean, it wasn't that long ago, Steve, just continuing this fantastic record he's got of late, just looking at some of the stats.
Into a 138.7, disgraceful. At turn 1. Is it, or is that at the last turn? Oh dear.
Viñales versus Andrea Dovizioso. Andrea Dovizioso desperately wants to try and
staying in 4. It's a balancing act here for Dovi. He can't afford to crash at all.
Each other here.
I tell you what they're doing as well. They're closing in on Alex Rins. I mean, but yeah, it looks like, Matt, it's going to have to be down to the last corner.
Don't think he's going to be close enough. And Andrea Dovizioso, Steve, not really famous.